I would like to present to you all the information I have gathered over the last 10 years by randomly and gradually looking into Michael Jordan's connections with the numbers 3, 6, and 9. One of, if not the greatest inventor and genius to ever live, Nikola Tesla, said if you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. It started off with noticing weird coincidences at first and marveling at them for a while before I took it serious enough to do some real digging. What I have found may scare you, and it may open your eyes to the magical world we live in. What it definitely should do is make you realize this is not a coincidence and something else has to be affecting our world and our lives. Based on the enormous amount of information I have compiled, numbers don't lie. And Michael Jordan is the best example for this. Let me start with my childhood fascination with the greatest basketball player of all time, and quite possibly the greatest athlete in mankind's recorded history. Michael Jordan has amazed me ever since I was a young child. I watched his highlights in utter disbelief that somebody could do such unbelievable things, from making layups with his back facing the basket, to flying in the air dunking on everybody, to flying from the free throw line looking like he's walking on air, to simply taking over the game with sheer determination and will to win. Nothing is more inspiring than somebody focusing so hard on a goal that there is no doubt they will achieve it. I've seen basketball players, the NBA's finest, like Magic and Bird, talk about Jordan like he is out of this world. Larry Bird once said that Michael Jordan was God disguised as a basketball player. When I was 16, I read his book, and he said that after he got cut from his high school basketball team, he went home every day and hung upside down so that he could grow taller. And over the summer, he grew about 4 inches and came back and made the team, and the rest is history. He made me believe that I could do whatever I wanted to. But like most of us, life goes by and we forget about the actual magic that we can produce in our lives if we truly believe. I came across his DVD set. It was called The Ultimate Jordan, and it had all of his early documentaries they did on him, and I would just watch all of his highlights and the stories on him, and I would just watch in amazement. He was like a god to me. The way he flew in the air, he was just defying logic. And very sadly, I was a little too young to remember watching him as a Bull, but in 2001, when he came back to play for the Wizards, me and my brother taped every game that was on TV. He was not the same player as he once was, but the focus and determination was still there to marvel at, and he became the oldest player to score 50 points. Needless to say, he was my idol. I went outside and tried to imitate his moves, I'm sure just like millions and millions of other kids and adults as well. With a lot of my attention on his career and stats, I started to see a really strange pattern of numbers occur. So I had a new reason to look into who and what Michael Jordan is. With more and more research, I became convinced this couldn't be a coincidence. So this is what the video is about: Michael Jordan's numerology and what it could mean. Okay, let's start with the basics. He is 6'6" with 6 championships. Now that stat alone raised my eyebrow to wonder about what the greatest athlete in mankind's history has been up to. Jordan's number is 23. 2 divided by 3 equals 0.666666. 2 times 3 equals 6. When he came back from retirement the first time, his number was 45. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 is simply an upside down 6. So whoever designed the numbers decided to make the numbers 6 and 9 the same exact symbol, just flipped. So his Olympic number is 9. He wore the number 12 for one game, which equals 3. So all the numbers he wore turn out to be 3, 6, and 9. This will be the reoccurring numbers I will talk about. Michael Jordan wore 45 for 22 games. Then he switched back to 23 on his 23rd game back. That's just a little fishy. Not to mention, 23 is the 9th prime number. He played 15 years. 1 plus 5 is 6. He came into the league 3 times and retired 3 times. His career points per game is 30.12. 3 plus 1 plus 2 equals 6. He was Rookie of the Year in 1985. 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 equals 23. And obviously we know what 23 equals. He won his championships in a pair of threes. Yes, 2 threes. And this one blew my mind when I seen the picture of this. I knew right away this is no joke. Are you ready for this? On the 6th game of his 6th championship, he hits the most famous shot in finals history to win the game, and the iconic photo was took with, you guessed it, 6.6 seconds left. I don't know what to say. On the 6th game of his 6th championship, he hits the game-winning shot, and the photo is took with 6.6 seconds on the clock. Man, his first 6 years, he didn't win a championship. Then he wins his next 3 and retires after 9 years at the age of 30. Wait, what? So his first 6 years, he didn't win a championship. Then he wins the championships 3 years in a row and retires after 9 years at the age of 30. That's crazy. You should prepare yourself, cause shit gets crazier. So then after he retires, he comes back at age 32. He eventually loses in the playoffs against the Magic. Next season, he's 33 years old and he begins his second three-peat. Now at 33, he has the greatest season ever. He led the Bulls to a 72-win season. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Then he retired at age 36 in 1999. You can flip that upside down if you wanna, and that's 666. Then he returned once more in 2001 at age 39 and played 2 seasons with the Wizards to ultimately retire in 2003. Yeah, 2-3. You can't make this stuff up. Now, I'm not saying I even believe in the devil. I'm not really a religious person, but these 6s, they're kind of freaking me out, man. I mean, 6'6" with 6 championships, and on the 6th game of his 6 championships, he hits the famous shot of all time in NBA history, and it's frozen in the moment of time with 6.6 seconds on the clock while he's wearing 23. Alright, sorry, I gotta get a grip. Alright, so he did that while he's facing Utah, who just so happens to be the Mormon state. Now, let's just take a viewpoint that these sixes may show that he sold his soul to the devil. Now, he plays for the Bulls, and the logo is of a horned beast with blood on the tips of the horns. Now, just ask yourself, what other logo has to do with blood and violence? And what is the offense that got presented to him that led to him winning all those championships? Yeah, it's the triangle offense. Now, look at his logo, the Jordan logo, and it definitely looks like a triangle. Now, Jordan, when he's dunking on people and when he's driving in the lane, he's sticking his tongue out like a lizard, like a snake, like the devil. Now, what is truly amazing is when I started looking into the Bulls organization. They were established in 1966. And 33 years later, at age 36, Jordan wins 6 championships and retires. You have to be shitting me. Something can't be right here. Is this the Twilight Zone? This doesn't make sense. Is this real life? How is this possible? What is going on? Who is pulling the strings of Michael Jordan? Who is in control of this world? Now, what I've recently found out is that the devil himself, according to the Bible, he is the prince of the power of the air. What? Air Jordan? Who soars through the air like no other before him? Now, I don't know if these numbers are bad, if they represent the devil, or if the powers that be who control the world want us to think that anything associated with the number 6 is the devil, and the mark of the beast is 666. To point out, when he switched from the Bulls to the Wizards, he always remained a Bull, simply because the Wizards used to be called the Bullets. The Bullets. Now that shit is crazy. Not only that, wizards? I mean, what are wizards? They practice black magic. Now that shit is a bit too creepy. What is his nickname? The Black Cat. That's bad luck. And his numbers, 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals 13. 23 plus 45 is 13, the bad luck number. And his nickname just happened to be the Black Cat? And if somebody were to sell their soul to the devil does give you what you want. But in the end, the devil takes away the main thing you love the most. And the main thing he loved the most was his dad. And his dad got murdered on July 23rd. It seems he made the ultimate sacrifice. I'm not saying after he got cut from that basketball team that he prayed to the devil to make him the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't know. It just seems that way. The numbers are very scary, and they just keep going and going, like his initials, MJ. M is the 13th letter, J is the 10th letter. That equals 23. Now his full initials is Michael Jeffrey Jordan, so that's MJJ. M is 13, J is 10, J is another 10. That equals 33. His sidekick, probably he would not have won all those championships without him, Scottie Pippen. His number, 33. Coincidentally, I decided to do this video around the 33rd anniversary of the first Air Jordans in 1984 when he got drafted in the NBA. Michael Jordan's top scoring game is 69 points. He did it on the 69th game of the season. He scored 23 field goals and took 23 free throws. 69 is simply 23 times 3. You can't make it up. He was the third in the NBA draft. He was born in 1963. He came off the bench 33 times. He was 21 when he got drafted. Then he had to go up against the top 2 players in the league, Magic and Bird, and then turned in to the Magic Bird that soared through the air. Well, I guess according to Jordan, the Red Bull does give you wings. In red, R-E-D equals 23. I've learned that from Jim Carrey's movie, The Number 23. Now, after I was learning all about Jordan and his numerology, I was shocked to see a trailer with Jim Carrey obsessed with the number 23. If you haven't seen that movie, I suggest you see it. I truly wonder, does Michael Jordan know about this? Does he know his connections with these numbers? Did he really sell his soul to the devil? If I would have knew this back in the day, I could have predicted every step he took. Well, with that knowledge of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, I predict Michael Jordan to die at age 60 during the year 2023. Now, I hope he lives much, much longer than that, but it just seems the age and the year coincide too well to ignore. Now, I would like to end this video with a song I did back in 2012 when I started really diving into this kind of information about Michael Jordan. Now, after this video ends, I want you to look up the NBA 2K16's intro and ask yourself, do they know something we don't know? Are they trying to tell us something? I don't want to show the video because I want to give you an incentive to look and research further, because I am sure there's much, much more quote-unquote coincidences. May God bless you, Michael Jordan.
Mathematics is the universe's language. If you want an explanation in layman's terms, so you can learn what I'm saying. Numbers are the words of creation. Mathematics is the universe's language. Going through tough times, multiplication to check what's next. But for now, let's think back at some shit in retrospect. Michael Jordan is 6'6" with 6 championships. Now can you recollect his game-winning shot during the 6th game of his 6th championship, where he wet the net and the famous photo was took with 6.6 seconds left? This shit is wicked, isn't it? Has it been written, or do you think it's coincidences? Take this for instance, his number 23, 2 divided by 3 is in the 6s. I think he sold his soul to the devil. No wonder he was always on fire, and the devil took his dad like he did in Ghost Rider. If they had a brain in a skull, then they would know if the devil played for a team, then he would play for the Bulls. Just look at the logo with the horns, with the blood on the tips. I can hear you saying bullshit. What about when he went to the Wizards? Well, what was they before the Wizards? They was the Washington Bullets. I didn't make this shit up, so how can this be? It seems someone else is in control. It's out of our reach. And what year did he finally retire in? 2003. Mathematics is the universe's language. If you want an explanation in layman's terms, so you can learn what I'm saying. Numbers are the words of creation. Mathematics is the universe's language. Going through tough times, multiplication. To sum it up, our origin is the problem, and I'm trying to figure out the creation equation.
You are now watching The Mathematics of Michael Jordan. Michael plus Jordan equals 369. Alright, let's get right to it. He is 6'6" with 6 championships, and on the 6th game of his 6th championship, during the 6th month of the year, he hits the most famous game-winning shot in NBA Finals history, sealing his legacy as the greatest of all time. The iconic image is captured with 6.6 seconds left. In that game, he scores 45 points. He makes 15 field goals, 3 of them were threes, and he makes 12 out of 15 free throws, all of which are divisible by the number 3. He wore 3 different numbers in his NBA career. The most famous, number 23. 23, 2 divided by 3 equals endless sixes. 2 times 3 equals 6. His number after he came back out of retirement is 45. 4 plus 5 equals 9. And the one number he wore only once was number 12, and 1 plus 2 equals 3. He also wore number 9 as an Olympic number. He won his 6 championships in threes and 2 three-peats. He played 15 years in the NBA. Out of 15 years, he won 6 championships. In 9 years, he did not win a championship. Michael Jordan's season points per game is 30. Michael Jordan's playoffs points per game is 33. His finals points per game is 33. His career points per game is 30. He was 30 years old after winning 3 championships, and he was 36 years old after winning 6 championships. The Bulls organization was established in 1966. 33 years later, Jordan wins 6 championships and retires in the year 1999. He entered the league 3 times and he retired 3 times. His rookie year, 1985, 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 equals 23. He played 13 seasons for the Bulls. The one year he didn't play out of that span was 1994. 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4 equals 23. During that year, he played baseball. His batting average was .201, which equals 3. He hit 3 home runs. He batted in 51 runs, which equals 6. He stole 30 bases. He struck out 114 times. 1 + 1 + 4 = 6. He had 51 walks. 5 + 1 = 6. And he had 6 outfield assists. One of the greatest wins ever for the Barons, the minor league team he played for, was when at the bottom of the ninth, Jordan hits the ball to third base and he drives in 3 runs to win 6-5. Looks like the 3, 6, and 9 followed Jordan even to baseball. He played 3 years of college basketball. His points per game were 17.7 points. 1 + 7 + 7 = 15. 1 + 5 = 6. Michael Jordan's highest scoring game was when he scored 69 points and had 18 rebounds and 6 assists. Michael Jordan says that may be his greatest game ever. He scored 69 points during the 69th game of the season. The record was 46-23. That is 66%. He scored 23 field goals and he took 23 free throws. And he took 6 3-point attempts and made 2 of them, which is 33% from the 3-point line. When he came back from retirement with the number 45, he wore that number for 22 games and then switched back to 23 on the 23rd game back from retirement. For his last game at Madison Square Garden as a Bull, he wore his retro Jordans, the first Jordans, and after the game he says he has 6 pairs of every Jordans that they put out. It is rumored that Michael Jordan downs a 6-pack after every game. Michael Jordan's nickname was the Black Cat. What do cats have? Cats have 9 lives. Michael Jordan played a total of 1,251 games. 1 + 2 + 5 + 1 = 9. When Jordan hit the game-winning shot for North Carolina, he hit the game-winning shot with 15 seconds left. 1 + 5 = 6. And his team's total points was 63 points. At a Michael Jordan camp, Chris Paul made a deal with Michael Jordan, saying he will give him 6 shots, and if he misses 3, every kid there gets a pair of Jordans. Michael Jordan ended up making all 6, and no kids got the Jordans. You would think Michael Jordan would be shooting for the kids to get the shoes, not shooting for the kids to not get the shoes. Michael Jordan was born in 1963, 963, and his dad was born in 1936, 936, and his dad died July 23rd, 1993, 23993. Michael Jordan will be 60 years old during the year 2023. Because of that, I think he will die that year, or something really, really big is gonna happen. Michael Jordan's house he currently has up for sale at $14,855,000. 1 + 4 + 8 + 5 + 5, equals 23. He has a 6-car garage and he has a 15-car garage. He has 9 bedrooms and 15 bathrooms. Highland Park, where he lives at, is 23 miles north of Chicago. And of course, he has the big number 23 on the front gates of his mansion. I believe this is proof he is consciously making decisions based on numbers that are divisible by the number 3. I mean, he has to know how far away he is from Chicago. Every time he puts it in his GPS and he heads there, he sees it's 23 miles away. I mean, 9 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, 6-car garage, 15-car garage. It's all 3s. Is he like Nikola Tesla, who used to walk around buildings 3 times before he entered them, or base all his decisions on the number 3 and numbers that are divisible by the number 3? But what's crazy is most of the number coincidences are not in his control. Like his initials, MJ. M equals 13, J equals 10. That equals 23, or being 6'6". Or maybe he did control that by hanging upside down. He said he was trying to grow taller so much that he used to hang upside down like he's seen on the Brady Bunch once. And during that summer, he actually grew 4 inches. Now that's early evidence that he actually willed something to happen. And he became known as the master of willing himself to victory. No wonder he signed with Nike. Have you ever wondered what Nike actually means? Well, Nike is a Greek goddess who personifies victory, also known as a winged goddess. Nike was the personification of victory. She's always predicted with wings and often carries a wreath of victory, which she presents to other gods or to victorious heroes and athletes. Ancient Greeks worshipped Nike because they believed she was able to grant to humans strength and the speed needed to be victorious in any task they undertook. What sums this whole Nike thing up is that Nike is known for sacrificing bulls. What are the odds that Nike gets a bull, Michael Jordan, who happens to be one of the greatest victors of all time in sports history? So did Nike swoop down and grant Michael Jordan the greatest physical attributes of his time? It sure seems like it. Is Michael Jordan aware of this and pay homage to this? It sure seems like it. Who would have known thousands of years ago that Greek mythology would be playing out right before our eyes? These kind of coincidences make me think it's not really mythology. It's actual reality. As long as you follow the numbers that are sacred to geometry in this world, it looks like you can achieve whatever you want. Alright, let's get back to the numbers. So he came in the league 3 times and he retired 3 times. He came in the league during 1985 season, which is 23. And then he retired for the year 1994, which is 23, and then ultimately retiring in 2003, which is 23. Alright, get this, guys. Michael Jordan's all-time winning percentage is 66%.
Language. If you want an explanation in layman's terms, so you can learn what I'm saying. Numbers are the words of creation. Mathematics is the universe's language. Going through tough times, multiplication. To sum it up, our origin is the problem, and I'm trying to figure out the creation equation.
You don't think numbers matter and you think it's all random, well, I collected the data and your sense of reality's about to shatter. If you figure out the pattern, you can detect what's next. But for now, let's look back at some shit in retrospect. Michael Jordan is 6'6" with 6 championships. Now can you recollect his game-winning shot during the 6th game of his 6th championship, where he wet the net and the famous photo was took with 6.6 seconds left? This shit shit is wicked, isn't it? Has it been written, or do you think it's coincidences? Take this for instance, his number 23, 2 divided by 3 is in the sixes. I think he sold his soul to the devil. No wonder he was always on fire. And the devil took his dad like he did in Ghost Rider. If they had a brain in his skull, then they would know. If the devil played for a team, then he could play for the whole. Just look at the logo with the ones with the blood on the tips. It means I'm saying bullshit. What about when he went to the Wizard? That was day before the Wizards. They was the Washington Bulls. Didn't make the shit up. Someone in his being seems someone else is in control. It's not if I reach number, yeah, did he finally retire?
Mathematics is the universe's language. Going through tough times, multiplication. To sum it up, our origin is the problem, and I'm trying to figure out the creation equation.
Welcome to my channel, Universe 369. This is the third installment to my Mathematics of Michael Jordan series. In part 1 and 2, I gave you the best possibilities of what the numbers could mean. In this one, I'm just showing with sheer arithmetics, this is not mere coincidence. Just like that rhyme wasn't. In Michael Jordan's life and his career, I have been finding the 3, 6, 9, and 23 pattern occurring at a scary rate. A rate so high, mere coincidence is the lowest possible explanation. This is for those who have the viewpoint that I'm just finding the number patterns because I'm looking for them. Well, to find the amount of occurrences as I did, I had to look for them. It's called research. I'm not telling you about my personal experiences with the numbers, although that is another story and definitely worth telling. But if I'm gonna prove these numbers are not mere coincidence, I'm not gonna tell you I see them everywhere. I'm not talking about me and my experiences. I'm talking about the greatest and most successful athlete of all time, Michael Jordan. I'm gonna show you the numbers 3, 6, 9, and 23 tell the entire Michael Jordan story. There's no need for speculation or interpretation. The numbers have made themselves a part of history, forever there for everyone to look and marvel at. I'm gonna summarize everything to help you see the bigger picture, so you don't think it's just a few stats and there's nothing to it. So sit back, relax, and let the numbers tell the story. Let's start with Jordan's dad. He was born in 1936, 936. He was 36 years old when MJ was born in 1963, 963. Then the Chicago Bulls 3 years later in 1966, 966. Their first season was the 1966-67 season. In the NBA, the season spans between 2 calendar years because it begins around October and ends around April the next year. So the year of the championship would be in the second year. Chicago Bulls' first season is the 1967 season. Add that up, it equals 23. Get used to this reoccurring theme of the year equaling 23 when we're talking about Michael Jordan. So MJ joined the NBA after 3 years in college. He was the third pick at age 21. He was the Rookie of the Year for the 1985 season. Add those up, 1, 9, 8, and 5. It equals 23. His first playoff game, he scores 23 points. Oh yeah, 1985, the NBA had 23 teams. Is this just mere coincidence? In his second year and third game, you see the 23 again there, right? He gets injured, returns to play the last 15 games of the season, makes the playoffs to face the Boston Celtics in the first round and gets swept 3-0. In the second of his 3 losses, his 6th overall playoff game, he sets a playoff record 63 points, 54 in regulation, then 5 in the first OT and 4 in the second OT, 54 and 54. It's 9-9. While he was 23 years old, that record has yet to be broken. It was the game where Jordan began his legacy of greatness after a 23-year-old Jordan recovered from an early season injury during his 6th playoff game, put 63 up on the dominant Celtics in 6 quarters, 2 overtimes. Larry Bird said, "I think that was God disguised as Michael Jordan." In his 3rd year, he became the only person to score 3,000 points in a season other than Wilt Chamberlain. He reached the 3,000 point of the season on a bucket that he scored, which also gave him a record of 23 consecutive points in a game. It's like he's seen the 3,000 mark and decided to just score every time until he got it, and then let a teammate finally score. His 3rd year, 3,000 point on 23 consecutive points. Is that just mere coincidence? It just might be. But wait, there's more. During his 6th season, he scores his highest scoring game of his career. He scores 69 points on his 69th game of the season to make his team have a record of 46 and 23. That's 66%. He made 23 shots, 21 of 23 from the free throw line. His stat line was 69 points, 18 rebounds, and 6 assists. 69 is simply 3 23 times. Oh yeah, he hit 2 threes out of 6, making that 33% from the 3-point line. Is it just me, or is all these numbers divisible by 3, with the number 23 seeming to oversee it all? In his first 6 years, he does not win a championship. Then he wins 3 straight. In his 3rd finals game, he has his first late game heroics in the finals, hitting a shot barely getting it over Vlade Divac's hand with 3 seconds left, tying the game to send it to OT to eventually win that game and the series. His first NBA championship is the only championship he won without winning it in 6 games. He faced the Blazers in his 2nd NBA Finals. In Game 1, being his 6th overall Finals game, he sets a Finals record with 6 3-pointers in the first half, what many say is the greatest half of the NBA Finals by an individual of all time. He missed his first 2 threes, then he made 6 in a row, then missed his last to make him 6 for 9 from 3 in the first half. He made 3 threes in the first quarter and 3 threes in the second quarter. His 3rd 3 gave the team 23 points, and his 6th 3 gave his team 66 points. The Bulls scored 33 points in the first quarter and 33 in the second quarter, making it 66 at halftime. Then in the end, they beat the Blazers by 33 points. Oh yeah, I forgot another one. He was the 3rd player to make 6 threes in a game, and he did it in just 1 half. Is this still looking like coincidence to you? Well, I'm not even close to done yet. In 1993, at age 30, he wins his 3rd championship, then retires after his 9th season after his dad dies on July 23rd, 1993. In his 9th year, all of this happens. In numerology, 9 is the number that ends an era. So he's age 30 when he wins his 3rd championship, and then his dad dies a month later on the 23rd. Mere coincidence? You tell me. The only year he didn't play for the Bulls from 84 to 98 is the year 1994, which equals 23. In case you haven't caught on, every 9 years equals 23. He started his career on the year that equals 23, so every 9 years after that, it equals 23. If he started on a year that equaled 15, every 9 years it would equal 15 again. Because after 9, the cycle of numbers just keeps repeating itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he retires for the 1994 season to play baseball. He takes 636 days off of basketball, then returns to the NBA wearing 45 on the 66th game of the season. He wore 23 for 9 years, then changed it to 45, which is 9, like his Olympic number. What I believe shows MJ's awareness of the numbers is when he switched from 45 back to 23 on his 23rd game back, which was shocking when I did the math and figured it out. It was during the 6th game of the playoffs. The game before he switched numbers, Nick Anderson stole the ball late in the game from MJ to steal the game from the Bulls. Nick Anderson said, "I couldn't have done that to number 23. 45 ain't 23. The next game, Jordan shows up wearing number 23. What are the odds Nick Anderson says that to motivate Jordan to turn back to number 23 on his 23rd game back? Or did Michael Jordan already have that planned out? At age 33, Jordan has the greatest season ever with a record 72 wins in the Bulls' 30th season. He plays the Sonics in the finals in the 6th game of the series. In Jordan's 23rd overall finals game, he wins the championship on Father's Day. How epic is that? He wins a championship on his 23rd finals game after his dad dies on the 23rd of July, 1 month prior to the 3rd anniversary of his death. MJ scored 22 in that game. Oh, can you imagine if he got one more point to make it 23? I bet you Jordan was trying to get that 23rd point. And Chicago won the first 3 games of the series. And it's as if Michael Jordan wanted to wait to Game 6 to win it on Father's Day on his 23rd overall finals game. How do these numbers add up this way? You must ask yourself, is it mere coincidence? With such an epic career and the numbers following him the whole way, all of his hard work, his retirements, his dad dying, then him winning a championship on Father's Day, what he does to end his career as a Bull puts the icing on the cake for all of you number doubters out there. No way you can deny this sheer arithmetic as mere coincidence anymore. His final game as a Bull. It was his 6th game of his 6th championship during the 6th month of the year. He's down 3 points in the final minute. He quickly scores a layup, then steals the ball from Karl Malone. He's down 1 now with time running down. He hits the game-winning shot to clinch his 6th championship. His final heroics is captured as he lets go of the shot with 6.6 seconds left. This is the last image of Michael Jordan as a Bull. During this game, the 6th game of the 6th championship, he made his 9th shot to score his 23rd point of the game, giving his team 23 points in the second quarter, which tied the game 45-45. Then he scored his 45th point on the 6th shot made of the second half to win his 6th championship, leaving behind the lasting image of him frozen in time with 6.6 seconds left, making the score 87-86. You may think I'm reaching with this one, but I don't see why. When you add the score up, 8 plus 7 plus 8 equals 23. Then you're left with 6. It's 23-6. Are these numbers 3, 6, 9, and 23 impressive or what? Please don't tell me you still think it's mere coincidence. But if you do, keep watching, cause these numbers don't stop. Alright, let's look at his total numbers as a Bull. After the 1998 season, he retired for 3 years to join the Wizards for the 2 final seasons, to basically fix the numbers that the Bulls era didn't fix. He played 13 years in Chicago. That didn't divide by 3, so 2 more years made it 15. Got the numbers right. He averaged 31 in Chicago in the season. That didn't add up, so he came back to drop it down to 30 points per game. He averaged 33 in the playoffs, so no need to make the playoffs as a Wizard. He would have messed the numbers up instead of fixing them. His last season as a Wizard, he racked up his games off the bench stat to of course result in 33 games off the bench for his career. That means he was the 6th man 33 times. Come on guys, that's insane. He was the 6th man 33 times. And that stat alone isn't much. But when you add it on top of the 100 I already just mentioned, it's bizarre. Only one championship didn't end in 6 games. That was his first one. The numbers couldn't allow for all 6 to be in 6 games. That's a bit too obvious. You gotta create some room for skeptics, I guess. You can't have every single number equaling 3, 6, and 9, and 23. What's the point? Everyone would notice it then. It wouldn't take little old me to dive into all these stats and come out with something insane that's gonna land me in the psych ward because I'm seeing all these numbers everywhere. It's like his 5 MVPs. He should have got 6. He didn't get it in 1997, even though they won 69 games, just 3 less than the previous year, which set the record for 72 wins in a season. I guess the numbers didn't want him to be 6'6" with 6 chips and 6 MVPs and 6 finals MVPs. It's just a bit too much, huh? But I guess since he didn't win all championships in 6 games, and he didn't get 6 MVPs, I guess it's just mere coincidence. Let's talk about the Wizard years. His first season with the Wizards, he played 60 games and went 30-30. The Wizards were previously the Bullets, so Jordan always remained a Bull. If you think that is silly to make that connection, well, how about if I told you the Wizards started in Chicago? Is that a silly connection? What about the Bullets spending 23 years in Washington before changing their name to the Wizards after Jordan's Bulls swept them out the playoffs? They had to change the name so that it wasn't so obvious MJ went from the Bulls to the Bullets. Imagine if they didn't change their name to the Wizards. Michael Jordan retires from the Bulls and returns to the Bullets? Come on. The 2 teams with bull in it must be something to do with the Greek goddess of victory named Nike, who was known for slaying bulls. But I'm not gonna get into that. Probably just a coincidence anyway. Let's talk about Michael Jordan's jersey numbers. Those numbers tell the story. It's 23, 45, and 9. 9 is his Olympic number. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 9. Would you think I was lying if I told you that equaled 23? Or would you just chalk it up as another mere coincidence? How about 23 is the 9th prime number? How about 45 is the 23rd odd number? We give 23 chromosomes to our kids. We pass down information in increments of 23. The way we keep track of time is in 3s. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. When we're 18, we're legal. When we're 21, we can drink and gamble. What's up with these 3s? Every sport we watch is designed around the number 3. Just look up the dimensions of basketball, football, hockey, definitely baseball, and tennis. Come on. 3 sets to score 6 I see 666 way too often looking at tennis highlights. No love. Where's the love at? I guess love equals nothing in the eyes of tennis. Alright, let's get back to the mathematics of Michael Jordan. So he won 6 All-Star games, and he missed 93 games in his career. He built his home in 1995, and guess how far it was away from Chicago? It was 23 miles away. Tell me that's coincidence. His last game of all time, his last game he ever played was against the... Come on, you know who it was against. It was against the Sixers. Ironically, he scored 15 points, went 6 for 15, and made 3 free throws. Oh yeah, coincidentally, his final game score was 107 to 87. Just add it up, you know it equals 23.
It has to.
I wanted to save this for last. I even kept this stat from my family, so I can have something to shock them with, cause I update them almost every time I find something new. But this one I kept to myself. Now we all know Nike is Jordan's shoe company. As I mentioned earlier, Nike is the Greek goddess of victory who slayed bulls and gave special abilities to humans to win in sport and in war. The Olympic Games idolized Nike, putting Nike on their medals, not the swoosh, but an actual depiction of the goddess. By the way, that swoosh, or swoosh, or whatever you want to call it, is the wing of the goddess Nike. The Olympic Games began in the new era in 1896 in Athens, Greece. Every 4 years they play the Olympic Games and they are known as Olympiads. So in 1896 was the first Olympiad. In 1900 was the second Olympiad, and so on and so on. Before MJ played for the Bulls, he already played for Nike in the Olympics in 1984 as a college player and dominated the world in the Olympic Games, known as the, wait for it,
The 23rd Olympiad. The 23rd Olympiad.
What are the odds? I would like to know the odds to all these numbers. I need a mathematician to break these odds down. What are the odds everything happened the way it happened, so that the number pattern of 3, 6, 9, and 23 fall beautifully around Michael Jordan and everything he does? Trust me, I know, these numbers will get your head spinning just listening to them. Imagine what I'm going through doing all this research, and I probably still have a lot more to find out. So do you really still believe it's mere coincidence? Please leave me a comment, let me know. There's no way. I would like to hear your reasoning with this, because I understand if you just hear a few numbers and someone says, hey, that's Illuminati, or hey, that's the Masons. But Michael Jordan has hundreds of stats with these numbers 3, 6, 9, and 23 popping up. Now I could mention a few statistics with John F. Kennedy that might be coincidence. John F. Kennedy got shot during his 33rd month of presidency during his 3rd year. Supposedly 3 shots were fired. He got shot at 12:30. 12 is 3, 30 is 3, that's 33. Right after he got shot, he was going under the triple underpass. It's an underpass that combines 3 roads at once. And I can't forget, he was shot on November 22nd, 1963. November 22nd is 11/22. That is 33, with the year 963. 1963, the year Michael Jordan was born? Coincidence? Now I understand you're skeptical about the John F. Kennedy thing, because it's only a few stats, it's only a one instant. But with Michael Jordan, it spans throughout 18 years. So if you really still think it's mere coincidence and the sheer arithmetics don't work, check his Hall of Fame speech out. The video is posted by the NBA's official Hall of Fame YouTube channel. First, you see an obvious duration of 23 minutes and 23 seconds long. He calls Jordan up at the 9-second mark. Jordan gives his whole speech and says his final words exactly as the time strikes 23 minutes.
Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. Thank you very much.
Then they wait 23 seconds to end the video. What is going on here, guys? What is going on? Alright, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Is the mathematics of Michael Jordan just an accident? Just a mere coincidence? I believe I have proven it not to be. The 3, 6, 9, and 23 are surrounding him. It's clear he puts the numbers together to add to 23, as he did with the price he is selling his house for at $14,855,000. Add those numbers up and you get 23. Even the people who reported that news, they understood that that figure equals 23. It's kind of obvious. I just don't see how nobody else has found out what I have found out. I believe it's a clear-cut case. He is aware and believes in the numbers. If you don't, he definitely does. And I can't help but believe there's way more to it than mere coincidence. I would love for someone to ask Michael these questions. Hey Mike, what do you think of 3, 6, and 9? Do you know all your numbers add up to 23? Do you know you are 6'6" with 6 championships? On the 6th game of your 6th championship, you with the game-winning shot, and the last image of you as a Bull is took with 6.6 seconds left? Did you know your 6th playoff game you set the record for 63 points? Did you know in your 6th finals game you set the record with 6 3-pointers in the first half? Did you know in your 23rd finals game you won the championship on Father's Day? Did you know that, Mike? Is that why you chose to live 23 miles away? These are some interesting questions, and I don't see how you can dodge them. You're not gonna go to prison for it. It's just information. Do you believe in the numbers? Well, I already know the answer, and the answer is yes. For all of you thinking I'm making these numbers up, please go and fact check them. I would like to know if I am wrong or not in anything that I said. We are human and we do make mistakes, especially when you're looking at these numbers. It's kind of confusing and you're bound to make a mistake here or there. But I tried my best to fact check everything and add the numbers up correctly. So if anything I said is incorrect, let me know. And trust me, there's nothing like looking his numbers up for yourself. Thanks for watching my 3rd and final installment of the Mathematics of Michael Jordan, Part 3, Mere Coincidence.